Let me ask you a strange question. Have you ever done so much healing work that you actually become tired of healing? You went to therapy, you journaled, you processed, you prayed, you read the books, you watched the podcast, you learned your triggers, you understand your childhood. You can explain attachment styles better than some counselors. And yet, one random Tuesday night, while brushing your teeth or laying in bed staring at the ceiling, your soul whispered something shocking. Why am I still tired? Not lazy tired, not sleepy tired, but so tired. The kind of tired that does not go away with a nap. Because the exhaustion is not in your body, it's somewhere deeper. If that question has ever crossed your mind, today's conversation might change the way you understand healing forever. The hidden burnout of overprocessing without abiding. Welcome to the ERPAW podcast, where psychology meets presence, where clinical wisdom meets spiritual depth, and where the God who sees you meets the parts of you no one else understands. Today we are talking about something almost nobody talks about in mental health spaces. Something I call the hidden burnout of overprocessing. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a woman sitting in a therapy chair. She's smart, emotionally intelligent, self-aware, the kind of person friends call when they need advice about their relationships. She is the one everyone says, "You're so emotionally mature." She has done the work, therapy for years, journals stacked on her nightstand like a small library, breathing exercises saved on her phone, boundary setting, inner child healing, self-reflection. She can explain her childhood like a psychology professor giving a TED talk, all right? But then imagine this moment. Halfway through the conversation about healing, she pauses, she sighs, and quietly says something that surprises even herself. "I understand my trauma now, but I'm exhausted." Not sleepy exhausted, so exhausted. And if we are honest, many people listening right now are that woman or that man. Because something strange is happening in our generation. People are becoming experts in their wounds without experiencing rest for their souls. The generation that understands everything. Our generation understands trauma better than any generation before. We know words our grandparents never heard. Nervous system regulation, attachment styles, trauma responses, emotional triggers. Our grandparents just called everything life. Now, don't misunderstand me, okay? Awareness is powerful. Understanding yourself is important. Knowing your triggers can be life-changing. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Awareness alone does not heal the soul. Sometimes awareness simply makes you very informed about your pain. You know why you hurt, but you're still hurting. The overprocessing trap. What is that? Let me explain it. Imagine you cut your finger while cooking. It's a small cut. Your body knows exactly what to do. Close it, heal it, restore it. But imagine instead of letting it heal, every week you reopen the cut to study it. You analyze it, you measure it, you discuss it, you write about it, you examine the edges of it. You photograph it. Eventually your body would say, "Please, just let it close." That is what emotional overprocessing can feel like. Constantly revisiting the wound, explaining it, analyzing it, understanding it, talking about it, reflecting on it, reopening it. And slowly, the mind becomes tired. The heart becomes tired. The soul becomes tired. Not because healing is impossible, but because healing was never meant to happen through analysis alone. Now, what is processing versus surrender? Processing pain is important. Therapy saves lives. Psychiatry helps millions of people every day. But there is something therapy cannot replace, and that is surrender. Processing uses the mind, surrender engages the soul. Processing says, let me understand what happened. But surrender says, God, I place what happened in your hands. Processing examines the wound. Surrender releases the weight. And those two experiences feel very different. Now, why does the soul need presence, you may ask? Because the brain understands trauma, but the soul carries the weight of it. And the soul heals through something very different. That is presence. Not strategies, presence. And this is where the word Jesus used becomes incredibly important. The word is abide. Abide, abide. Abide simply means stay, remain, dwell, be with. Not fixing, not striving, not performing, just remaining in the presence of God. And for many people, that is the hardest part of healing. Because we know how to work on ourselves, but we don't always know how to rest on God. But what actually happens when people abide? Something fascinating happens. When people stop trying to constantly fix themselves and simply sit with God, the nervous system begins to slow down. The racing thoughts soften. The body relaxes. The soul begins to breathe again. Because healing was never meant to come from only one form. Understanding your story. Healing also comes from resting in the one that holds our story. Now, what is the ERPAW vision? At Airway Psychiatry and Wellness, we believe deeply in therapy. We believe in psychiatry. We believe in medication when needed. These are powerful tools. But we also understand something equally important. Clinical care stabilizes the mind, but abiding restores the soul. And when both work together, healing becomes deeper, more sustainable, more complete. Now, if you have been doing the work, showing up, trying your best to heal, and you still feel tired, this is not failure. It may simply mean your healing journey is inviting you into something deeper. Not more analysis, not another technique, but something quieter, something sacred. Abiding. Sitting with God long enough for your soul to remember it is not alone. Letting God who sees you, the God called Elroy, restore places no therapy, no conversation could ever reach. But in the next episode, we are going to talk about something even more mysterious. Because sometimes the real problem is not just overprocessing. Sometimes the real problem is the tools we are using, trying to reach wounds they were never designed to touch. Why do some people try therapy, medication, coaching, prayer, and still feel like there is a locked room inside that soul, a room no technique has entered? In the next episode, we will talk about when the tools do not touch the trauma. And the answer might completely change how you understand healing. So stay with me, because the next conversation might reveal where true restoration begins.